Okay, so you can see here I've laid out my grill piece. I've got the curves exactly as I want them. You can see the line is just tucking all the way around the outside. It's a really, really good fit. I'm going to round these corners off afterwards, but now it's time to try and join them all together. All right, so I've got my basic shape of my grill piece here, but now I want to join them all together. So there are a couple of ways that people do join this stuff together. People do silver solder them or something like that. I have no experience or equipment to do that. What I am going to be doing is I'm going to be using the World Force TIG to TIG braze it together using, this is silicon bronze TIG rod. And I'll just show you here, I've just been doing a couple of little test runs, and it's not the easiest thing to use because you're not welding it like normal, where you melt the base material and sort of melt the filler rod into the base. This is more, you're, in theory, trying to just melt this rod, and this will melt over both things. So you can use this to actually join dissimilar metals. It's almost like gluing them together, if you like. You melt this in the middle. What I found though is maybe it's because this is brass and so is this, that it's sort of basically almost needs to melt the base before it will actually sort of flow into it. You can sort of see here, this is the first sort of test run I've done and join these things together. But you can see if I, where I've ground it back, it's all nice and yeah, it comes out as one cohesive piece. It's all the same color, which doesn't really matter in this case because we're going to get it chromed. But you can sort of see that you can actually join this stuff together nicely. So I've got a couple of little beveled edges here to give me some sort of space to sort of fill into. So now it's time to clean it all up, make sure it's all immaculate, and then we're going to try and braze it all together. And here we go. We have my grill piece. Now it's still hot. Obviously there's big ugly lumps on the corners, but they'll sort of grind down, and ultimately that is the shape that I was looking for. So now let's make a second one, and then we can have to think about how I'm going to actually mount it to the car. All right, so we have our two chrome grills that sit in there very nicely. Now the next thing is going to be working out how to actually mount them to the car. That is going to be a bit more of a challenge. All right, I have one side completely done. I've got a range of these odd looking mounts on the ends. They're not welded up very nicely. They're just sort of initially there. I can go through and tidy them up. Yeah, it's a matter of I can just add a bit more like silicon bronze and filler to it and shape these things to get them just right. But the basic shape is there, so now we need to fit them up and make sure they're actually going where they're supposed to. All right, and we have my grille mounted up. There's still some adjustability in here to get all the gaps just right. Like you can see, there's a bit of space around the this headlight over on this side that needs to be done, but that is great. They're nice and symmetrical. They're sitting like, I am quite happy with that. As always, that was a lot of work and a lot of time spent on that, but I am quite happy with the result, and I think it's going to work well moving forward. But that is definitely all the time I have, so I think that means it's time for Fun Facts with Mrs. Jeff.
Hey guys, after World War II, Lancia had built a reputation for innovative road cars, despite its founder Vincenzo Lancia being an avid racer. His son Gianni, however, could not resist the thrills of racing and appointed Vittorio Giano to design a race car for Lancia. Lancia's first ever Formula One race car debuted in 1954, and it was unlike anything else on the grid. Giano's design used a double overhead cam V8 which sat very low and was used as a stressed member of the chassis. The engine was also set at an angle so the drive shaft could run alongside the driver, getting the centre of gravity very low in the car. Giano also developed pannier-style fuel tanks which sat on either side between the wheels. This greatly improved the balance and the aerodynamics of the car, while their competitors were still using the rear fuel tanks, which affected the handling of the cars. Alberto Ascari piloted the car to a few victories before his death, which ended up forcing Lancia to sell its struggling Formula One program to Ferrari. Ferrari renamed the car the Ferrari Lancia D50, and in a slightly modified form, it went on to win the 1956 World Championships, driven by Juan Manuel Fangio.
All right, guys. Well, today we have another episode of Mail Time, and this time we've got a package from Harry Bekas in Greece. So Harry, I was actually talking to online a bit and sent him a copy of my Alfarrari logo for him to play around with, and he has gone through and laser cut me some fantastic Alfarrari logos. So this is, as you can see, it's got a bunch of holes in it, and those holes are so that I can either drill or weld the front plates on. So he's cut out these front plates that stick over the top, so that basically we've got the complete logo, and then it sort of steps back all the little joiners to make it all one thing, and I can join them all on individually and then chrome these and have some fantastic Alfarrari logos. I am very happy with the results of these. These are very cool. Thank you very much, Harry. And if any of you guys have got anything you want to send through to me to put up my sticker wall or whatever, from wherever you are, from wherever in the world, we'd like hearing from you. You can send them through to Home Built by Jeff, PO Box 1520, Barrel, New South Wales 2576, Australia. All right, guys, thanks. All right, it's definitely a big moment when I can finally put the heart grille in the center of the car. It really feels like it's getting it's getting there. It's obviously these grills either side have got to have some mesh, and I've got to do these other little ones, and there's lots of there's still many finishing touches to do on them, but they'll get there. I'm not going to rush, but I'm quite happy with how the silicon bronze brazing turned out. I'm quite happy with that.
It looks a little bit steampunk. Actually.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah. It does.
It's not exactly what I was going for,
no.
but yeah.
You better take your time on those details. I think we've learned that.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Okay.